You're live. We're live.
Hell yeah.
Well, we got 5 people in here already.
Well,
So, sit down there, bro.
hold on, I want to share this.
I will bring that back in a second. Now we got 2 people in here. What's up? That actually should be better. Okay, 8 people. What's up, Zach? What's up, Ian? What's up, everyone jumping in? So, 18. Holy cow. What's up, Zach, again? What's up, OG BMX? OG, yours is going to go out this week. Sean, what's up? Mason, what's up? Bob, Kevin, everyone's in here. Hope you guys are doing well.
Sorry everybody, I don't mean to be rude or anything. I'm just trying to get caught up. Advantage 2. I did a podcast show yesterday for Bike Life. Obviously BMXers and Bike Life are kind of like, it's the same thing to me, but mingling all of it together is a little bit.
Russell, Tyler, TES,
Mason, OG, Kevin Jackson, John,
the whole world. So something happened. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Something happened yesterday that is spreading like wildfire. BMX Union, Montana Ricky is so rude. That's funny.
Actually, I'm trying to help stuff out, Kurt. I'm trying to get things ready.
Scoot to your left just a little bit. Right there is good. So something happened last night. We're not going to say who, but somebody did something last night. You've probably read more of the story than I have, but so give me the cliff notes.
I guess I woke up this morning and I saw a few people posting things, and instead of doing my own research, I just let people talk. And wildfire starts, people see mug shots and they think it's one thing or it's another. But the more I evaluate the situation, the more it really feels like a symptom of, oh, you put the CTE up on there. It feels, I don't know if it's an episode, from obviously head traumas over the years, or it's actual something that could be a substance abuse or something like that. But I feel like it does need to be addressed.
And it needs to be addressed responsibly.
Yeah, and respectfully too. And I think we're going to bring up names, and we don't mean anything harmful with riders in the past that have passed away. We don't mean any disrespect or anything, but also I just would like to address mental health in BMX because it's a huge deal. Everybody has somebody that they've lost, but it's worse when it's a BMXer, and obviously the person just got arrested and the situation's crazy. And I think instead of obviously Brent Moore's more public about this, Brent's right. Making a mockery of it or joking about it isn't right.
And Kurt just made the most perfect comment ever. So Kurt, who we're referring to, runs BMX Union. It's a BMX media site, and in my opinion, the only legitimate BMX media site in BMX.
That's non-biased.
Yes, absolutely. Non-biased opinion. That is the only BMX media site that is not partial because of sponsors or anything like that in the way that they post things and whatnot. But he said, I didn't post since I wasn't sure exactly what is going on, but CTE or substance abuse seemed logical. I didn't want to be a dick to blast him when he's potentially having a hard time. And that is exactly why we're not saying this person's name right now, because I believe in integrity and putting this person's name out there, even though it's already out there, like everyone, BMX media sites have posted it, putting it out there even further just is bad. It's a bad situation. What good can come from it? The dude
Right.
hasn't been in the BMX mainstream public eye for years now.
I mean, he's still sponsored. He is a pro BMXer for Elite BMX, which is a new company that's coming up. And I have affiliation with Elite BMX because I ride for Throne for the big bike company, and they own Elite, and they're just starting a new bike company. So he does still ride BMX. Um, I just feel I don't want to be hypocritical in the sense that, like, obviously when I heard it, I didn't do my research and I just started fucking laughing. And then I thought about it. I've lost a nephew and a brother, both to suicide. And then just recently, there was a rider yesterday that lost his life from Poughkeepsie, New York. And it's Jersey Drew's really good best friend. So I think in the BMX community, even though we're far apart, we're still super close, and
Mm-hmm.
it's serious. Like, and
It's
it
very
all comes
serious.
from riding bikes, and head trauma is a big deal. Like,
And
I don't wear a helmet, so I guess it's my own fault, but you do.
today would be a totally different story, and everything would be having a totally different story if this ended with someone dying,
Correct.
with this person being dead. But no, instead, we've got people making memes and laughing about it and joking about it and saying things that are just terrible. Can you imagine? Like, can you imagine what it would be like
Yep,
to be in
Jacob.
this person's shoes right now and then to come back and look at the BMX industry and see what's going on, and if this is mental issues, what could come from that? Like, I try to be respectful of people.
Right. Well, in BMX, a lot of it is we tend to react first before we actually think about any situation. And you got to remember that BMX is a kids kind of thing. It's a
Yeah.
young man's thing. So a lot of it isn't like obviously it's not responsible to be riding a bike all the time, but we do need to take the responsibility for our actions. Yes, I get it. Riding a kid's bike and destroying property and that isn't responsible, but at the same time, we're all adults and we need to look at situations that are serious. And I I know that I can be a joker, and I know that I can be one of those fucking dudes that acts like a moron. But for me, I think like the more I'm thinking about this situation, it just brings back. Let me give you the day that Dave Mira passed away, and I received, you know, the news that Dave passed away. I was at the Merit Warehouse. I was riding the ramps, and it was Mike Brennan, my boss, Brian Foster, and I think Ben Ward or somebody else. And we were just hanging out, riding the ramps, and like we heard that Dave passed, and like Brian turned and looked at me and just said, "Dude, I'm 40." I think he was like 42 at the time or 43. He's like, "Dave's like a year younger than me. Like, I don't even know what to do." And he's like, "I just have to drop in and try to forget what's going on in this moment." And it was like, it was the first time that I've ever felt like I lost. Like, when somebody loses a singer or a celebrity, it was the first celebrity I actually cared about,
Yeah.
you know? And I feel like the situation with the person that's having this right now, at first, I thought it was a joke, or, I'm acting as a joke and being like, oh, what a moron. And I see his mugshot and I see everything. But then the more I think about it, there's been so many BMXers we've lost because of CTE
Yeah.
and because of mental issues, mental problems, depression. There's so many things that can happen. I kind of feel bad at the moment for jumping to the conclude, jumping like that. It's not right of me to do that.
Right.
And I'm glad that you're doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like
I want to take the responsible approach instead of just posting something extremely fast on the internet and doing so because I know that clicks are going to happen and people are going to watch the video and ads are going to be there and it's what people are going to want to see right now. I want to address it in a way that actually can help somebody rather than just be there to get clicked.
Right. Or actually have an open discussion about it. And who knows, there could be somebody that's in the group chat right now or that's in the chat that is facing problems, that does have things that are happening around them, and they have nowhere to go. And social media is the place that they go. And if they see somebody making a mockery of it, they're going to feel like they're beaten down because of things like that, or they can't open up.
And that's my exact point about all of this, because do you remember when Dave Mirra, when all that happened with Dave Mirra, how many people posted about check on your friends. If you have problems, talk to your friends. Well, guess what? This guy didn't die last night, and today you're making jokes. But if he died, you'd be saying the exact same thing you said whenever Dave Mirra died about check on your friends. If you have mental problems, get help.
We'd be painting petals green like Monster Energy.
Exactly. But instead, people are making jokes about it and cracking and making fun, making light of this situation, and that sucks. And that's why I'm so pissed off about it.
Right. But at the other time, we're not here to beat on people and say, hey, everyone has their own opinions. Because it isn't right. It wouldn't be right for us to come on here and be like, hey, you're fucking wrong for doing that. No, you have your own opinion. But at the same time, like, this is your platform. This is what you build. And you want something that's neutral. But you also want to speak up about things. Which, obviously, that's why I've been a part of this for a couple of years. And I don't know, man. There's just been a lot of BMXers throughout the years. Colin Winkleman, Paul Buchanan, Brian Hillstad. Now, I know that certain situations and certain people had certain things that happened, but I'm just saying that people that have passed away that are BMXers. And, you know, all of those things hurt in a certain way. And I don't know, like, the more I think about it, the older I get, I'm like, fuck, should I put a helmet on?
Probably.
I know you wear a helmet.
I wear one. I mean, obviously I don't wear it all the time like I should. I wear it at concrete skate parks, the trails, indoor skate parks, and any park that has ramps more than 4 feet tall.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like this is an opportunity to, rather than just spread the information and talk about what happened and be like, oh my God, you see that? We should talk about exactly what we are saying. Check on your friends. If someone's having problems, whether it's mental issues or they are on abusing substances of some kind, it's the same thing. Check on your friends. If you know they're having issues, try to help before something like this happens or before.
Well, it doesn't help either that the world's in a pandemic right now.
Exactly.
And we're slowly getting out of it, but then we're also into another craze that's happening. And, you know, I definitely don't want to get into that craze. There's just so much that's going on. And, I mean, obviously tomorrow's your news thing and you're going to address what DK just did. Yeah. Like, you're going to address that and talk about that. And I'm sure you're going to go into more detail about, you know, with the situation with this guy right now, what's going on here.
I might not. I might just refer to this live stream
as it. Okay.
Yeah, I might. I'll probably say something about it.
Well, wait till the facts come out. How about that?
That's exactly it, and that's what nobody does.
I mean, Mike Feet said something there, right?
Yeah, Mike said. I'll read what Mike said because he's exactly right. He said, yo, and yeah, boys, it's called Don't Speculate. Let's wait for facts, and let's be happy no one was hurt, and the next step for help has been taken. Guess what? We don't see that in the posts on social media, or on BMX media.
Well, it's easier to get things from drama than it is to celebrate. I mean, not to change the subject, but I mean, I watch a lot of kids that really kill it and have great clips and they're amazing and they get like 3 comments. When back in the day, it used to be like 200, 300, 400 comments and people like talking about it. It's just a numbing effect. And right now, it's just, things are very scary. I don't know much about CTE. And then while I was going to the bathroom, knowing we were going to have this conversation, there's 4 stages to this. And the worst part is that second stage is scary as shit. Forgetfulness. Irrational thoughts. What else does it say in there?
I'd have to scroll down. I didn't go through this one. It was just the first one that came up that actually
Well, there's like
showed.
the 4 stages that are to it. Like, I don't know what stage one is, but I mean, it's just like, you know, it's it's fucking scary.
Yep, it is. I think memory has something to do with it too. I'll take it back about the getting help part. The Vital BMX one does have something about being taken to a place for evaluation, but absolutely nothing about wishing anyone well or anything like that.
Right.
Just
Well,
reporting on what happened, and it is news.
definitely. I mean, did you see the second angle? There's
I haven't seen any
oh, you haven't
videos
seen
or
anything. Oh,
anything.
you didn't watch the video. I mean, it's just cop cars, but there's two guys that are standing around and they witnessed him, running around naked, shooting a gun, and then somebody on a four-wheeler was chasing him. I mean, it's
It's insane.
obviously something's not stable, and if it's substance or it's the beginning of CTE, because you guys have to remember, shit, in 2007 he was doing 1080s in Dew Tour. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Like, he's eaten some shit. He's been part of it. Like, it's just a scary thing. It's a scary thought.
Oh, right here. I had the symptoms literally on the screen after
Let's
you
let's
asked
hear
about it.
let's
Uh,
hear him,
it
doctor.
says early symptoms of CTE usually appear in a patient's late 20s or 30s and affect patient's mood and behavior. Some common changes seen include impulse control problems, aggression, depression, and paranoia. The disease progresses, some patients may experience problems with thinking and memory, including memory loss, confusion, impaired judgment, and eventually progressive dementia.
Right. Obviously, OG mentioned the Chris Benoit one. Obviously, that was a horrible situation.
Yeah,
Wrestler.
I don't know. I probably heard it, but I don't know.
He ended up uh, basically taking out his whole family and
Wow.
then himself, and it was all linked kind of towards the same thing. So it's I don't know, like, I don't know what the precautions is there any way that you can test for that before it happens, or
I
is
don't.
there?
I don't think they. At least as much as I've heard, they don't have a test for like before someone's just dead.
They have to test the brain, like cut the
I
brain
think
open?
they have to test the brain after the fact or something.
Right. Somebody mentioned, they said they wish that they could test it before. I don't know if it was Mason or
It was
somebody else.
Tyler Richardson.
Um,
Richardson. Yeah. Not. I don't know. I don't really know what more to say totally about it. Yeah.
well, the other thing comes is, like, what precautions can you take? Obviously, wearing a helmet, but you can still have the same things. Look at what's that, Jay Tooley or whatever. Did you see the fucking wreck he had yesterday or 2 days ago or 3 days ago?
Uh-uh.
Dude, he did a quintuplet backflip tail whip and lost control and just straight, like, went to his bike, like
It's
landed on
insane.
his bike like 80, he's like 40 feet in the air.
That's the.
Still
That's
has the helmet on, but the bike landed on him and his arm. It's like, fuck, dude, it don't matter.
that's the risk we take whenever we ride a bike. Unfortunately.
I mean, you are right. 1510 medias. Hope people do reach out and help dudes instead of just make fun. Community is such a loose term now. My buddy Jersey Drew is kind of having it bad right now. He had to drive out of town to go where his friend's from, and I rode BMX with the guy that he has, and I genuinely feel bad for Drew.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the guy, and the situation's crazy, and hearing more about it, it's scary. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks, and it's part of it. It's part of life. Like, people, I hate saying it, like, people come and go, but it does happen, and it's always the what if. Like, exactly like you said, if he died,
Mm-hmm.
there'd be a bit more of a reach out. Since he's alive, it's better to joke about it.
Yeah. And a big thing that I wanted to say and forgot until just now is that the the vast majority of people are the ones who just aren't saying anything at all. Like, in regards to, like, the internet right now talking about this. Most people who ride BMX and know about this aren't saying anything. Like, they're not posting and making jokes or anything like that. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying there's more people who aren't making jokes and saying things that are just in bad taste than there are who are.
Well, it's the monkey see, monkey do kind of thing. And then it's also the ostrich effect. Well, if I just duck my head in sand, I can't see anything, so it's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing. You know, it's like voting. People are like, well, fuck, I don't like what's going on now, so I'm just not going to vote. Well, a majority of the people that do vote get what they want because they're voting. You know what I'm saying? So it's...
yeah, I just wanted to point that out there, saying, like, I don't think everyone in the whole world is terrible right now. Like,
no, not at all. And obviously, if it was, you wouldn't be doing this right now, and you wouldn't be talking about this, and you wouldn't bring this up.
yeah. I honestly wasn't even going to talk about it in the news video until and just like the Madeira
I addressed it right when you texted me. I called you right away and said we need to talk about
it. And it was at that point that I decided I was going to talk about it. But just like with the Madeira thing, I wasn't going to talk about it until it escalated to a point that I felt like it actually became, like, newsworthy and a subject that should be talked about. And I'm glad that we did this and I'm talking about it in a way that can actually help people and promoting the right side of things.
Right. You're welcome, OG. No problem, dude. Jeff said that he has a concussion and still competing and won. And the sad part is he just because he won doesn't mean the KO didn't happen.
He said that there's a Dew Tour video of him crashing and getting a concussion, still competing and then winning. He's saying the sad thing is that just because he won doesn't mean that the knockout didn't happen.
And then Stefan Guzman said in Dave Mira's final few competitions, you can see him squinting in his face and brows, like suffering from bad headaches.
Mike, the main reason I wasn't going to talk about it, or I didn't want to talk about it until it escalated to a point that everyone was already talking about it. And I didn't think about this side of things until I decided to talk about it, obviously.
I also like the help and whisper in your ear, too. And, you know, you are doing it right because we're not mentioning names. Like, obviously, people are smart. They can look it up. They know who we're talking about. We're not going to mention his name. I am, with all respect, when I mention, you know, Paul Buchanan and Kevin Robinson and all those guys that have passed away, I'm just talking about, you know, even if it is due to mental illness, CTE, or whatever the cause was, it is somebody that we lost. And you are right, having somebody that hasn't passed away and now having this problem, the more I look at it, like it's either a really bad fucking substance problem or it's the other one.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him if it's CTE, if it's drugs. I have a different outlook on drugs. That one's tough for me. Obviously, if you guys know my past, I really have a tough one there. But
at least with that, there's a way to get out of it. With CTE, it's there and it's not going away.
Definitely.
Oh, it's very unfortunate. It's a bummer of a thing to talk about. And Mike, I don't know if I've ever told Mike or not, and I don't think I've ever said it on this channel, but my whole goal with things was to get to a point where I'm not relying on anything in the BMX industry so I can talk about these things and talk about them in the way that they need to be talked about, in the way that the BMX industry might not talk about them when no one else will. Because there's a lot of things that have been going, or that have gone on, that just didn't get talked about in the right way, and there's a lot of things that go on that don't get talked about the way they should. And I kind of wanted to get things to that point. That's been a goal.
Right. And obviously it shows by your growth. It's been very natural and you've been doing what you can and you're very biased. I mean, there is sometimes where you're strong with certain opinions you have, but at least you try to look at both sides instead of
Hmm.
being pointed towards, oh, okay, well, this is what the majority likes, so let me go this way.
Mike, if you want to get on here and talk right now, I'm totally into it. We can patch you into the call because I feel like, I mean, Mike probably competed against this person, right? I mean, they're in.
Okay, so if he clicks in, I'm just gonna ask him a question right when he clicks in. I'm just gonna start a new topic, not a topic, but topic about this one. But I have a question.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to him, but I'm down. I mean, I feel like Mike is he's also a balanced, reasonable person who his opinions are based on thought and critical thinking and all of this.
I don't think you're bad, Mason, in that way. It doesn't make you sound bad because obviously you're looking for an alternative that can be fixed. I mean, it on reading it sounds bad, but like
There's no good way to say it.
there's no good way of saying it. And I wish the same thing too. Like if it's fucking meth or drugs or
Mike's calling.
whatever it is, you know, there's a way of going to rehab and getting that fixed. CTE is a different thing. And the crazy part is, you know, I could have it. Brant could have it. Like, there's a few of you guys in here that could possibly have it. It's a scary fucking thing.
That was quick.
Yeah.
There he is. All right, let me
He's
fix.
always driving. Look, this is worse than what's going on. Pull over.
I'm always driving because, dude, shit never stopped with me. With essential personnel, like, from this whole pandemic thing, things continued. My business got, like, more and more booming, and nothing ever stopped except for the fact of YouTube videos for me, just because with the pandemic, daughters out of daycare, juggling livelihoods, let's not talk about that right now. We can get on this, but my whole point with that, Brant, is I'm not under contract with anyone in the BMX world.
Right.
Now with Triple Eight I am, but at the end of the day, one of my statement was where I said I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit because BMX is so fucked in the sense where all the companies cower down
Absolutely.
to anyone's opinion instead of standing up for themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to get into. But I mean, you're laughing, but like.
I mean, there is a sensible thing because yes, I understand. So it sucks because I work in the industry, so I feel guilty.
Yeah,
not with my company, but with what I hear and what I see. So I feel guilty. Does that make sense?
I'll give you an example. I've rode for Alienation for like 9 years. They used to have a product. They don't offer it anymore. Well, before all this Black Lives Matter stuff happened, they don't offer it anymore. They used to have a C-post called the Billy Club. Could you imagine if that was still around right now? Alienation would be reaching all types of levels of hearing havoc from people. And I think it's sad that you can't even have a name to a product or even talk about an incident that just happened recently because people are scared about whose feelings it's going to hurt. And that's that's what I meant, Brant, is like you have a platform like you do right now. You have a live stream like this and a news show that potentially can be more powerful than these other news, quote unquote, sites for BMX. And you're absolutely right. BMX Union is, and I'll say right now, is the only one. And I don't look at much BMX content anymore, but is the only one that is non-biased.
Absolutely.
On facts, they might post the story 5 days late, but at least they're posting a story and not sensationalizing it to get you to click on that shit, to read it, to go ahead and spread. Everybody wants to be the first one to post up a story, to get those clicks, to get the little ads on their site to get seen. I mean, listen, I don't give a shit. Anybody that watches this BMX related, I don't care about your opinion, and go fuck yourself. Simple as that.
My question.
Your question about Gutler. I heard you in the second ago.
He said it.
No.
Whatever.
We're not saying his name.
Whatever.
Okay, so my question to you and to Brent is, I will ask you first, Mike, and then you answer. Doesn't matter how long it takes you to answer it. How many head injuries have you had, and what is the worst one? How many concussions, first of all, And how many head injuries have you had? And what's the worst one you've had?
I've probably had like 4 concussions, 2 of which really bad. One of them was at a Dew Tour practice. At the time, like I was doing alley-oop flares. It's where you carving. A lot of people watching this know what flare is, but an alley-oop just kind of combined it. And I knew how to do flare no-handers at the time, and I was trying it in practice. Messed up, pulled out too far, got my hands back on the bars, but the ramp was gone. Landed straight to the front of my head.
Oh.
Knocked myself out cold. Was like, but the only thing that got me back up on my hands and knees was because the ground was so hot. It like scorched my face. And dude, I was like, I think it was Trish Beargrounds. She's a medic for all the Dew Tours. She was like, "Do you know where you are?" And like the month prior, I was in Baltimore. I was like, "I'm in Baltimore." She's like, "No, you're in Cleveland." And then I couldn't even get words out. Words were going. Well, I could formulate words in my brain. They weren't coming to my lips.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to cry because I couldn't even voice the words that I wanted to get out. And then those tricks that I thought were so important didn't have a value to me anymore. Because that's what it is in BMX, no matter what it is. You try to stay at a certain, I don't want to say a certain level for other people's, to appease other people, but because that's what will get you to that next portion of what you think is a career.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like within the BMX community, I heard you talking about Dave and his last competitions. I was there at his last knockout at Ocean City, Maryland practice, I believe it was. Knocked him. Oh, no, it was his first run. He did a huge flare whip and ended up casing, went straight to his head, through his helmet. He didn't get knocked out, threw his helmet over the bleachers and into the sand. And I don't know where it ever went from there, but that's the last time I ever saw him compete. The person you're referring to, I've seen knock himself out a couple times. One of which he didn't have a helmet on. That was in the old dirt jump competitions in the UK. It was called, God, what was that called? It was Ert Park. It's not coming off the top of my head right now, but there was like a props video where he even says, like, he called up somebody to ask them how to do a certain trick because he knew how to do the 2 tricks combined. And in the mix of him trying to learn the trick, he ended up like landing and knocking himself out. I think it was like a front flip no-hander or a front flip whip at the time. But dude, CTE is a big deal. And I'm all for like talking about the incident, but I don't like speculating because like we don't know. Like you just said, you don't know drugs. You don't know if you had a gnarly breakup and you just had a breakdown. We don't know anything. All I know is I think it's fucked up that people on the internet are sitting there they're not being compassionate about this, but they're compassionate about every little thing that's going on in the world, which I think is absolutely ridiculous when this is something that's within our own community and just it kind of hits home for everyone here. I mean, like even if you don't do the tricks that he did or does, doesn't mean that you can't have that happen to you. Your
Right.
head is just as liable to hit the ground on a 2-foot ledge and be worked,
So how many times have you knocked yourself out cold?
I'd probably say 3 times, but it wasn't like the one time a Dew Tour is probably the worst one, and that's what like kind of shook me. But I've had ones where like I've hit the side of my head and I've just like was out for an instant. I've seen like an instant for me. It might have been like 30 seconds or whatever, and all I see is white for a couple minutes. But this is before I ever wore certified helmets. Since I've been wearing a certified helmet.
So from a head injury, have you ever been hospitalized?
Nah, I've never been to a hospital.
No, okay.
But I've been told that, like, for instance, this is when Dew Tours made the thing where at the time, if you did get knocked out, at that time they let you still ride the contest. But that year that I got knocked out, that's when they flagged it. So like if you got knocked out, you're done. Like you can still attend and see the event, but you're not riding the event at all.
Yo, Urban, what's good? Slim. The reason I asked that is because I know that you did major contests with thousands of people watching, and you competed against top name pros back in those days.
Yeah.
And you were around those guys. Like obviously Colin Winkleman wasn't around at that time, but Kevin Robinson was there. Obviously you don't do vert, but you were around when Kevin was riding. right? Kevin did vert.
Yeah.
You didn't do vert. You never did vert, did you?
Never did vert. I only did park and like street dirt events, stuff like that.
Okay. So you've never had a head injury and had to go to the hospital. Brant, what have you had?
I've never been knocked out.
Fuck, am I the only one? Jeez.
And I've only had, I think, if I'm remembering right, I think I can only remember 3 concussions I've ever had, to where it was to the point where you were like seeing those colors for a little bit and your head felt a little bit weird, but nothing that never had to go to the hospital, never anything that lasted longer than like a couple hours after it happened.
Fuck, I got the worst luck out of both you guys. Fuck, I've been in a coma. I've gotten a hemorrhage in my brain. I fucking broke my my frontal lobe from here all the way up on a 6-foot spine because I didn't know remember I've told you the story, but I thought I was at a contest and they were still finishing it, or they were working on it, but I thought it was done and I just blasted a 3 over a spine and it was just ribs on the other side. So it was just straight fucking tire, straight to my fucking face, knocked out, woke up, pile of blood, my whole fucking head's cut open, my eyelids barely hanging on. Go to the hospital, get the brain scan. I got a hemorrhage. I'm doing the blood clot where you're puking up the fucking blood for like 2 days. It was horrible. Then I got a fucking fucked up concussion, got put in a coma for that over-rotating the 720. So I've had like bad luck with head concussion. I'm seriously, the only problems that I really have, and I'll be very honest with you, and I don't care if it's public, is I have really bad sleep problems. Like I can't sleep. I'm always high anxiety. This pandemic doesn't help because it's just crazy.
It also might have a lot to do with what you put in your system though. Like, I mean, if you drink a lot of energy drinks or taking a lot of sugar,
ginger ale.
Exactly, especially after certain hours and stuff like that. I mean, you're getting older. We're all getting older. We can't do what we did when we were 18, where you drink like a 2-liter bottle of soda before you go to bed. It doesn't work like that anymore. So I mean, I've learned that. I mean, I never drink coffee, so like I drink a Red Bull here and there or green tea. Right. But anyway, Brant, I want to try to encourage you a little more though, man. Like you've got a good thing going here, and I think worrying about what other people think, or worrying about what if you think the BMX community is gonna go like revolt against you, I highly doubt that would ever happen. Yeah. Michael BMX might have that kind of power, or Kyle might think he has that kind of power, but at the end of the day, all it is one person's opinion, and you have your own platform. They can't deplatform you from YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, my confidence in those things is going up over time. I just wanted to get to a certain point before I went all in on some of the things that are kind of wrong that happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I had a couple, or one person text me and actually tell me that I should take down my video from last week about the Madeira thing.
You put up the video about it?
Yeah, I talked about it.
Was it like in depth? Like, did it have because I saw somebody put up an Instagram post.
I just talked about the situation. Pretty much just gave the facts and then talked about 2 different sides of the thing and how you could look at it. And yeah, I had one person who used to be in the industry text me and say that I should take it down because it's a bad look on the industry, and I was just like, no, absolutely. I didn't respond.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I'm absolutely not. I'm not taking this down because of the industry. Fuck the industry.
Yeah. And just people are trying to silence your opinion or basically make you feel like you need the industry in order for you to prosper and succeed. But what you have is YouTube. To be honest with you, and I don't want to sound like
BMX Union said you haven't made it till you get death threats.
Well, basically, but I'm saying like I don't want it. BMX is so different now than it was like 5, 6, 7 years ago. So take this as I hopefully as like the best compliment you can take. You are going to be, if not, you already are more successful right now on YouTube than you could be in BMX. Because
already.
Because YouTube, you're going to keep growing,
yep.
And you're gonna have access to more people. BMX is such a small area. Where, you'll have, like, those people that when you have all that beef going on, when Harry and Spencer had their little beef, or people have beef with Mafia, there'll always be that small beef. But, I mean, look, what do you got now, subscribers? You guys saw you hit, like, 10K recently or something like that? Like,
yeah, we're about,
growing.
Yep.
You're growing exponentially. So take that as your answer, where people are going to follow you and listen to you versus listening to outsiders like the other news broadcasts.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing that I've noticed too, Brent, is when we're behind closed doors, you still act and talk exactly the same. You don't. You always show your face.
That's
Like I'm very.
always the goal.
I don't know. I'm like Mike in a sense. I'll say what I want to fucking say, what's on my mind. But I also work for companies, so I'm representing companies that I work for.
And that's the thing. You
Now-
literally live the thing that Mike was talking about, and that you have to walk that line, because if you don't, if you say something wrong, you can get in trouble based on what he was talking
Yes, but
about.
at the same time, I don't fucking hide anything, and I do speak out, and I do say things.
Yeah.
So I am a lot different than a lot of other people. And
Right.
let me tell you, there is so many people that are higher up that own companies that like me or fucking just hate me. But since I'm in it with them, they gotta pretend to like me, and that's fine. And I got nothing against anybody or anyone. Like I said, I only have pure fucking hatred for one person in BMX. I'll never publicly fucking say it, but other than that, I shouldn't even said that because then it just makes people, oh, who is it? Doesn't matter. But what I'm saying though is,
let them find out.
What you're doing is amazing. Like you've really grown, and I know that like you've let me be on here constantly. Like for 2 years, I just suggested something. You're like, yo, let's just do these shows. Let's talk. Let's hang out. And I've grown more, and I've changed my opinions on a lot of things because of you. Like I literally have, and it's good, and I'm appreciative of it. And obviously, Mike is a grown-ass man that has a family, and he agrees the same too. So eventually, you're gonna be the person to go to, because obviously Kurt doesn't want to do it. Like if Kurt did it, we would all just follow and listen. It would be great if Kurt did it because Kurt's got a bigger following, but it's gonna be you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you with something, if you're talking about putting on a website, you risk losing sponsors in that sense. Like at least with YouTube, he'll still be able to put ads on it unless he's doing like racy topics right now with the BLM movement and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to like, I'll give you an example. So like I used to ride for Power Bar not that long ago. I worked for them for 6 years, and recently, I say recently as in this past year, when I was re-upping for the next 2 years for a contract, I get this email that says, I'll dive into it probably later in a video for myself, but it's like, we see that you have not abided by the contract on this section, but on this clause. And I like go in the contract and I look, and it says promoting harmful activity, and then right below that it says promoting use of firearms, right? And I mean, I don't put it out there that I'm like a huge firearms user, but I am an advocate of it. And I have posted pictures on my Instagram of like different guns that I have or I like, and that's what they were referring to. And they didn't want to re-sign me again because of that. No. What the thing was, they were like, yeah, you just have to take down that post and take down everything that is affiliated with Power Bar and those things. And I said, no, because then it's like, if I post a video up and I'm wearing and I'm like riding or whatever, and I have a gun and we're doing target practice or something like that, if I tag my other sponsors, I was like, that's disingenuous to them. No, I'm not doing that. I was like, take me to court. It's not going to happen. I'm not worried about it. And it got to the point where I was just like, see ya, I'm done. And that's what you got to do. You got to.
It's called integrity.
Yeah, I mean, I rode for Hyper for a while too, and Hyper, I'm still good friends with them. But I guarantee you, during this hot topic and this hot time we have right now, if I was to even open my mouth on my Instagram, or not my Instagram, leave my Facebook. Like, I posted something recently on Facebook where I was like, I think it's fucked up that people are so pissed off that other people have different opinions than them, but instead of scrolling past it or hitting unfollow or hitting unfriend, they go on their profile, they see who they work for, and they try to take away and discredit them by their jobs. So I think that's how fucking crazy we are now.
What do you call? What is that culture called?
Cancel culture.
Yeah, cancel culture, man.
The Karen culture? Is it Karen?
Karen.
Karen culture?
Karen culture. But to your point about the sponsors and things like that, even if I ever did have a website, I've thought about sponsorship and if I'd want to get involved with those kinds of things. And I think that if I ever did, it would be because it wouldn't be for the reasons that BMX Media gets sponsored today. Because BMX Media today is sponsored because these companies want these people to exist. They're not bringing enough value to that company for them to pay for it. BMX, the whole point of the news and media and the sponsorship that used to exist because of magazines, because it was the only source of information. It was where people got their news, and the media outlets and the magazines were actually bringing a value to these companies that they couldn't get somewhere else.
Yep.
And if I ever was sponsored by a company for my news show or anything on this channel, by being paid to be a paying sponsor, it would be because I was bringing more value or bringing a value that they couldn't get themselves.
Exactly.
And I don't think I would, not that I don't think, I would never ever bend what I'm doing or anything like that just to get a sponsorship, because you're right, YouTube and Google is the best sponsor you could ever want.
Exactly. You know what? And I have to say, like, I feel like you're the same way as me, where you won't even promote a sponsor on your page right now unless you use them on a regular basis. You're not going to do it for $1. You're going to do it because you avidly use that product,
right?
And you want to promote it, and they want to contribute and sponsor you because they believe in you. That's kind of the whole point,
right?
People see a sponsor, they're like, oh shit, a sponsor tag, I gotta watch this. They don't even give it a time. Like, it's not like a thing like, go check out this site for these ringtones or this game. It's like, no, like, this company believes in what I'm doing enough to sponsor me, and I use their stuff on a regular basis, and I want to showcase it to you guys.
Yep, and that's exactly why I ride for the companies that I ride for. Park Tool is 100% behind what I do, and everyone else that I ride for is exactly the same way. And it's like so much so it's to the point where, like, sometimes I'm like, oh my god, am I not doing enough? Because, like, they're supporting me for being me. So I'm like, crap, am I not doing enough for these guys? But in reality, it's me being myself and promoting them in that way.
Well,
yeah, I don't like the fact that, like, for instance, I'll use Vital as an example. Like, Vital really very rarely ever promotes a product or a rider that rides for a company that isn't sponsoring a website.
Oh, 100%.
That's where I think it's faulty at, for sure.
I don't know if Kurt would want me to say this, but I don't even care, because this is one of those things that people need to know about. When Kurt was working for Ride, he was posting a lot of stuff for me on ridebmx.com. Like, a lot. My face was on that website like every day. And I made a review.
Mine too. Kurt took care of me. Thank you, Kurt.
Right. But I made a review for the Ezra Flats pedal or something like that. And I sent it to him. He's like, oh, I'm not going to be able to post that one because that's not a company that sponsors the site. We can't post product information for companies that don't sponsor our site. So basically what you're saying is, and I don't know if they're still like this or not, but basically what he's saying is, at the time, you aren't allowed to be promoted in BMX by the biggest media source in BMX unless you
pay your way.
So you don't get to exist in BMX unless you pay for it. And that's why there's not a single BMX media company that's posting about the free coaster that I ride.
Yep.
It's sad.
100%.
You know, I'm going to say something that'll probably be a little crazy to some people, but I do owe my career. Is as bad as the people hated the fucking come up, but when that first came out, I'm telling you, even though they did a lot of fucked up things on there, every company was paying attention. Every rider, they were posting riders that, like, you wouldn't see. Like, that's what I like about Kurt, is he takes an underground rider that you would have no clue who it is and give him a chance.
Yeah.
And Kurt posts Flatland, fucking soap shoes, fucking unicorns on a bike. He'll post anything. And I remember when the come up first came out, it was almost like ESPN to me. For a bit, I'm saying, because it did get fucking crazy. Like, the Ian Swartz thing got crazy out of hand. And, like, you know, when they started editing, wasn't it before your name wasn't there for comments? So you could just anonymous shit talk. Okay, Let's be honest. It was kind of fun, but it got a little dirty. But I did really like it for a moment. And I am kind of one of those people. Obviously, I like to go on the deep end sometimes. But it was good for a bit until like you guys are talking about, where everybody had to pay their way into it, and then it just kind of went.
Yep. And I have to clarify, Kurt at BMX Union did post some of my Free Coaster stuff. There was only one BMX media place to post about it, and it was Kurt. He said that in the chat, so I had to clarify for him.
And you know, the good thing about kids is if you DM or you get the email for Kurt, Kurt will genuinely watch the video that you send him. And if he does like it, he will post it.
Oh, 100%.
Because I didn't even know who Kurt was. And I've gone through like 10 years ago, and I'm like, what the fuck? He posted that of me? And I had no clue. So, like, he does do his homework. He is a great guy. And he doesn't, like, I think racing's probably the hardest thing, or the one thing that doesn't get that much love. Let's be honest.
Well, in our world, it doesn't.
Right.
Racing has its own thing. They have their own, like, there's a guy who runs a BMX news website that's pretty much devoted to racing. They have their own stuff.
Yo, what's up, my guy, Eddie? Yeah, I just, to get back to it, I gotta try my hardest not to be so judgmental at the beginning, because I will be honest with you, at 7 in the morning when I got the information, I just instantly went to, oh, how fucking funny. And then I just started thinking more about, you know, Brian Foster looking at me and then just talking about Dave Mira and saying, like, how serious this really is. And, like, look, Ricky, I'm only 43, you know?
You just got to think about the mental state of anyone that's just hurting. Like, I'm not even saying, like, not even speculating right now about, like, this person in general. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, everyone that has been working this whole time is most likely hurting or relying on credit cards or some type of credit in their sense to be able to survive. And I'm not saying that this is instant, but a lot of people are resorting to suicide or drugs or whatever. And that it's just a sad world we live in right now because of that.
Yep. And Ricky, on that note, I know you're beating yourself up a little bit, but
about what?
About thinking or laughing at 7 a.m. Your character isn't the laugh. Your character is the fact that you put time into thinking about it more after that, and you got to where you're at now. The character that is wrong is the character of the people who laugh, make a meme or share it and make jokes about it, and then go along with their day like nothing ever happened and never think about it again.
Well, what makes it crazier for me is I ride for the company that sponsors him. So I am indirectly a part of this. And I do know PR issues, and I do know how things go. So it isn't like, as we're having the topic of being like, oh, hey, if you're in the industry, you know, industry is fucking small. That's how ironic this issue right now is. Like, the person we are talking about, it directly does affect me because I am part of what he is part of. I might not be on the same team as him, but I do ride for the company that does own the company where he rides for that company. So, therefore, indirectly, I am involved in that situation. And so it isn't right for me to instantly just say, oh, hey, look at this fucking weirdo. Like, I do have to think about it because I do have issues too, and it's obvious. You know what I mean? And maybe one day I have something severely happen. Look at all these people having to do GoFundMes because they're breaking their fucking backs, or their legs are snapping, or their fucking houses get set on fire, or even the small ones where kids get their bikes stolen. Like, fuck, dude, that's the worst thing that can happen in BMX is when you work your ass off, get a bike, and then some douchebag steals it.
Well, that just goes to show how hard things are going right now in the world for people, because if that you see that many GoFundMes on, and it's not just like, oh, these people are lazy and they don't want to get a job. First off, a lot of jobs are gone so they can't get them, or they don't have money saved up. A lot of people aren't good with money to save it. So if they do get something stolen, they don't have the money to go buy it, or their house gets burns down, they didn't have the insurance, or if they had a death in the family, they couldn't pay the funeral, or the back injury, didn't have insurance.
Or they're just living paycheck to paycheck. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, well, the whole thing is we all have issues. You never know who's having issues unless it shows or something like this happens, or worse, like that happens. And it's better to try to be nice and humble to people. It's tough because the world would rather laugh at drama than to actually face problems sometimes. And so, like, with these conversations, I'm glad that we can, drive in our cars unsafety like and probably, maybe hit some pedestrian, or, I'm glad that we can have
God
these
damn it,
talks.
Ricky.
And I'm also glad that we have people inside our chat like BMX Union and just other guys that follow us that work for bike shops and other companies that are in here and they're chatting along with us. And we're not getting people on here that are like, yo, you guys fucking suck or suck my dick or this is stupid. We're actually having constructive conversations. Obviously,
And if they
if you
did,
guys allow me to
I would
talk.
enjoy for them to hop on here if they did.
Huh?
If they did disagree or have some type of bullshit to say, I would encourage them to get on a Skype call with us, because I feel like that's something we should start doing more. Get a little more. If you're gonna have the conversation about not just industry, but like these types of situations that, like, for instance, this person's going through possibly, and people disagree with it, you got to have some type of context on it. People got to talk about it, and more than just us three. We're very close to the same opinion on it.
Yeah.
And I would love to hear the opinion of the people that disagree. And I'm not saying
in the disagree one, I definitely will. I will have to like subject myself out because I know it can turn in a certain way. And for me, you can handle that one. You love that shit. For me,
Well,
I have a hard time.
We're
So,
not,
like,
Rick, you got to remember, we're not exactly in the positions of some of those, like, people who, like, go on Joe Rogan's podcast and argue with him. Most of the people who we would end up having on here are too scared to get nasty and ugly live on the internet for fear of how it makes them look.
well, you could have a really educated person that feels a certain way, especially if you have someone that's against guns. Because if someone comes on here and they're against it, there's no matter what he says.
We're never going to have a gun debate on this channel.
I'm just giving you a fucking example. The only way that it would work perfect is if Caleb Quambeck come on here, and him and Mike would be jerking off fucking 9mm right now together. Like, you know what I mean? But you could have that. So for me, I would have a hard like now. I wouldn't mind debating about BMX stuff, like political things. I don't feel comfortable with.
That's not. We're not here to debate political things ever.
I'm not here to
it's
debate
only
politics.
BMX.
Right, but I mean, like, if someone wants to shit talk, like, he's a skate park rider and this dude's a flatlander or a racer, I got no problem. I'll go all night long with that fucking shit.
Yeah.
But you remember, the conversations aren't about changing anyone's mind. It's about just engaging with each other and letting each other hear each side thoroughly, not you screaming over or me screaming over.
Yeah.
And saying, this is how you're supposed to see it and this is how you're supposed to feel. It's, okay, so that's how you feel. All right, well, I'm going to receive what you just said, and now I want to tell you how I feel about that and why I feel it.
Mike,
and that's with anything.
The hard part about that in BMX, though, is the fact that most of the people who would be on the opposite side of the fence could not have that discussion without getting riled up and crazy about it, because everybody lives in so much of a bubble in BMX. They push all of the differing opinions out, and if something else is against it, you're wrong and you're blacklisted, and it's just not good.
It's not that stuff anymore. So basically, I want to say this then. So the other BMX sites are CNN, MSNBC, and they're fake news, and you're Fox News?
I don't know. No, I'm just saying. I'm saying that if we had someone on here to disagree about things, I don't think they could have the civilized discussion without, like, keeping it chill and actually having a discussion, because most of the people who have those, like, crazy differing opinions don't react well whenever you sit there and give your opinions.
Exactly. Yeah, it's hard to have a rational conversation with some people, even just about simple topics. I agree.
Yep.
Congrats to all the AMs over at Colt and their new video that they just put out. Eddie, I see you're in the chat. Good job. Good job to all those kids, which I'm kind of motivated. I wish I didn't miss it. Just as a fucking joke, I wanted to do that source thing. It would have been great to just do flatland tricks and send them in my edit. Did you see that, Mike? Where they're paying a trip and you could have a chance to go to the source to do that, like, end of the year thing that they do.
Battle of Hastings.
Battle of Hastings. I would have fucking loved to just be a moron and send them something but I also like that it gives amateurs a chance for that. That is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And Dakota Brat, I see that dude. He is a backflip manual machine. He deserves something to happen for his ass eventually. He puts in so much goddamn work, man. You know, I mean, it's the same thing. That thing right there is kind of like with you with Dutor. How did you get your chance, Mike?
Well,
Did Dutor just had like the amateur thing and you went and murdered it? Or no, you did the Haro thing, right?
So before I get into that, so the rider you're referring to, what kind of rider is he?
Dakota?
Yeah, what kind of style?
Skate park, of course.
Well, skate park, and he's been into more street stuff too.
So what's stopping Merit from sponsoring them? You want somebody hook him up? Why don't you hook him up? Put you on the spot right now.
Me?
Yeah, make it happen. I mean, look, you could be
Because if I have my choice, do you want to know who I've been trying to get on the fucking team? And I'm gonna get yelled at for this. Do you know who I've been trying to get on the team?
What? Who?
I've been trying to get Dave Osato shit. I've been trying to get Rat Boy stuff. I've been trying to help out fucking just old school guys and help them out. Smoker Dave, the Gons. I'm trying to help out guys that built the foundation or are trying to come back, but they can't afford. But like Alex Ray-Ban just got his bike stolen. I hit him up and I was like, yo, look, I'll try to get you some bike parts and get your bike going. I want to help you out. Now, I have given Dakota a couple tires and some pedals and stuff like that, right? And since I'm on the spot right now, I am in the works of trying to get a skate park rider that for the team. I have been in the works.
Hey, Dakota, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, but there's I have nothing to admit it, but you also have to remember, I don't own the company. I have the words to say, hey, I would like to help you out, but the only way I can do anything is if you work at a bike shop, I could fucking help you all day long. That's easy for me, but I don't own the company. And also, it sucks to say this, but Merit is a street company, even though we have Brian Foster. So
look, you have more pull than an Instagram DM. And you're on this thing right now. I am calling it how I see it. You're on this thing right now and you're saying somebody needs to hook this kid up. You work for a company. Even if you don't want to hook him up through Merit, you know enough companies. You could be like, yo, you should really hook this kid up this year.
Do you know who? You haven't been on all these chats, have you?
No,
I helped out Steve Woodward. I went and talked to like 4 other bike companies and talked to the owners face to face and did something. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'll just get him something and get it to happen now. So like, I love that you're doing this, but you don't hear me all the time. I am the biggest BM. You want something? You can be like 4 other people that ask me, Ricky, I need an agent. Get me something. I guarantee you I can get you something right now.
Oh, my God.
Look, here's what we're going to do. I don't know this Dakota kid, and I know Brant could do the same thing. Dakota, I don't answer DMs on Instagram that often, but if you DM me tonight, I'll check it out by tonight or tomorrow, and I will ask the owner or the guy who owns Alienation if he would hook you up with some flow for the rest of the year.
Hey, Mike.
Not even on here right now. That's the best part.
Mike, listen.
Set of hoops, maybe some tie play.
Mike, he already won flow for a year from Alienation the year I won it.
There you go. Keep it going. I mean, like all I'm saying is we have the capability to do this. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
no, like I get what you're saying. You're saying that I don't do nothing. Like, trust me, I go over.
I never said that. I never said that.
Triggered.
I go over.
Triggered.
Like, I've literally fucked myself more out of situations and went more for other. Yo, I single-handedly got Mike fucking Hoder his first sponsor.
I'll put this there. Like, I'm gonna prop you up real quick while I put on some.
I'm like trying to go through these things. Like, God damn you, Mike! Now you're getting me hyped up. You want to?
Sorry, I'm not trying
here.
To
I'm gonna railroad your conversation.
Yeah, railroad the shit out of it. Change the subject.
You ready? Because you talked about the amateur stuff for the thing that they're doing with the Battle of Hastings.
Yes.
I have something coming soon on this channel for the amateurs that's going to be announced on this channel that is really, 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 really big. That's all I'm going to say. Just know. What?
What are you doing?
There's going to be something coming on the channel for the amateurs in the BMX world. It is going to be huge. Not I'm not doing it, but it's being announced first here.
What kind of money are we talking?
We're not talking about any money for me.
Are we talking sponsors?
I'm gonna have to.
I don't know. Is Merit on it? Merit sponsor?
No. This is. I can't even really say more than that. I just know that I got the email yesterday or today confirming some stuff.
So do I have to go to another BMX channel news station to find out who it is, and do I got to talk to Kurt? Kurt knows it all.
You'll
Nope.
find out.
Kurt?
Later.
No one. No, there's not. There's 3 other people that know about this in the BMX world.
You're the man, 20 a grip.
Yes, you are. Thank you.
How do I flip it? How do I flip my camera?
The little roundy button guy.
Yo,
Ooh,
yo,
look at
we
that.
were at like 45 people for a second there. I haven't seen, we haven't been in 40s in a long time.
Let's get to 50. Share it.
Man.
Yo, share this shit on your Instagram. Get these fuckers pumped up in here.
Dude, just change the title that, like, something like real racy.
Yeah.
Mike is blowing up the spotlight of all BMX companies in front of like something real racy. That
Yo, no. All you gotta say is we're gonna expose
There you go.
Garrett Reynolds' paycheck, monthly paycheck.
Exposing the BMX industry. Boom.
Oh, Jesus God. But yeah, no, there's just some stuff going on for the amateurs of BMX that they don't know about yet.
Yeah,
And
I think that's awesome. Oh, back to this question about Dew Tour. Back then, it was so Dew Tour did like an open qualifier. I want to say it was like 3 stops were open qualifiers, and
yep.
if you did make OQ in Baltimore, you got to sign up.
What's OQ?
Okay, open qualifier.
I know.
But like, I mean, it was even though anybody could sign up, they didn't accept anyone. So it was always about who you knew. And Dennis McCoy was like the email guy with that. So you email him, hey, you know, I want to get on, I want to do park. Okay, cool, I'll get back to you next week or whatever. But there would be so many amazing riders that wouldn't get in. So that was like my way into Dew Tour. But like, and then like Vital BMX did a thing where it was like you send in a video and it gets voted upon, and those riders got to be invited to the Nike 6.0 Huntington Beach thing before it was Vans.
Was that you, Mike, and Steve? Mike, what was Mike Payne? Was Mike Payne in the same time as you?
Yeah, but like the video people that won that were me, Trey Jones, shit.
Yo,
Matt
Tyler,
Sparks.
$10.
Matt
What?
Sparks.
Who?
Matt Sparks.
Yo, you know, of all motherfuckers, if I had my way, and if he wasn't such a firecracker, Matt Sparks is a god on a bike. Holy shit. Yo, could you do a rewind? Is it called a rewind when you do a tail whip and then kick it the other way? Do a tail whip?
Yeah, windshield wiper. I used to do them back in the day. Like, I never did a 360 one, but I would do a straight one.
Yeah, but that hand plant, like that backflip hand plant bar spin thing he does, dude,
Yeah.
he's fucked.
One of the most underrated riders, but also he was what I like to call a dialed hucker.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, that's what sucks, is you either get a really good day with him or he's going to bed. And
Yeah.
that sucked with him.
Yeah.
So, how about this? I have you on here, and you said you don't give a shit about anything else. I want you to answer judging for me. You don't have to say names of the judges, but explain judging in big contest situations, because I know for a simple fact that there is a lot of weirdness that happens behind closed doors with judging. Your
So
honest
yeah, the
opinion,
judges.
don't use names. Don't call them out. I'm just saying, like, how do you feel about being in a big contest and how it went? Because you know some of those judges, like, voted for people that you were like, dude, that run sucked ass.
So some of those judges never rode those events before because they weren't qualified of a rider enough to ride those events.
Right. Well, that's
I'm-
one
I'm-
thing, too. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not talking trash on the riding side. I'm just saying, like, I mean, if you're going to have judges judge a park event where guys are doing like 1080s and flip triple whips and all that, but then the guys that are judging it are like street/park riders that didn't really ride those events, but yet they're getting paid more than the riders who are riding the events. That's one thing that should be exposed, is there's been judging are judges that get paid more than the riders that ride the event, which I think is pretty fucked up.
Right.
Yep.
That's where I've always said, like, the risk versus reward is what kind of tuned me out of the competitive world.
How did you feel? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I ever did it for the money, but it's like, do I really like? I like doing these tricks, but like, you're really rolling the dice. You're sitting at a craps table every day, and you're like rolling and rolling and rolling. One of those days, I'd roll an ankle or I'd busted my shoulder. One of these days, like, you could be like Brett.
Yeah.
Know? And at this point in my life, hell no, like I'm not willing to risk that at all. But what was your question?
So,
how do I feel about the judging?
Well, I do know, I could say for X Games, I know almost all of them. And I know my take on it is if a person can't backflip, how can you judge a backflip? Like having Scotty do it, he knows he's done it and he's done that. So he understands it. So it makes sense to make him a judge. Like when he was announcing for X Games and stuff, and he was talking about how to do those tricks. My thing is like, how can you judge something? And you just brought it up, which is great. And kids don't know this, is some of those judges can't backflip. You can't judge a backflip if you can't backflip.
Well, not just a backflip. I mean, like, look, you have Scotty who announced the X Games, and if it gets by on him, where he's like, oh shit, like, that was an opposite 360 with an opposite bar spin, and he can barely tell, those judges can't tell.
Yes, but I'm going all the way back. This is now, but I'm talking back when you were in it. And obviously, I'm not here to name and say who the guys are because they were there from the beginning and they know who they know and they get what they get. Congratulations. Yes, you are right. The money being distributed isn't the correct thing. Like, you're risking it. They're not. Blah, blah, whatever. But it's not fair, I think, for a judge to judge something that he can't do that stuff, number one, and he has no clue how it goes. But then what I wanted to bring up was, did you watch the interview with Catfish? And Catfish talked about the back end of it with judging and everything. Did you watch that?
On here, yeah.
No, not on here with us. One day we will have Catfish here, which will probably...
I watched an interview. You had Catfish on here.
Yeah, I had him on once.
Yeah, he had him on, but I wasn't here. But I'm talking about that one. What was the one that he was on?
Space Brothers?
Yeah, and he said a lot of things, and I'm not here to spark anything up, but I'm saying your own experience. Did you feel you were treated correctly, or did you feel like, hey, I'm not part of the group, so I got dinged, or this guy was more popular, so he's always gonna win? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, you have back in that time. I mean, like, you had Catfish was a huge influence in the industry and in like where if he didn't like you, he would just talk about you to a company and that company would be like, hey, I'm not fucking with him because Catfish said not to. And I'll use Zach Gerber as a perfect example. Zach Gerber was pushed out of BMX because of their beef, the Zach's beef, which I'm not sure if you know about that beef. But, I mean, Zach Gerber, he was amazing. He still is an amazing rider. He was pushed out of the industry because of whatever beef that they had going on. And a lot of people were always scared to talk about their drama with Catfish, just because they were worried about if he would go running to their sponsor, Monster, or whatever it might be. That's right.
I guess that's just one person, but I mean, not the person announcing. I'm saying like behind the scenes with judges, and then you also have the people that are orchestrating the actual contest. When you were riding and you were about to drop, like not even dropping in, and you were like about to hit podium, if you were towards that part, did you know that you were like, I would have to score 100 to even win this because no matter what, they're not going to judge me properly, even if you were on one of those days that were.
I've never been in that like due toward podium like stress level, but I understand what you're talking about. Where like you put down a run you think is amazing, and at the time, yeah, I guess I might have been frustrated with the score that I gotten, but then like afterwards, reflecting on it and realizing that they just watched 150 riders before me, or if I'm in between them, like that's a long day for them, and like to kind of remember what other riders are doing, and they're basically at that moment they're kind of basing your riding off of what they see of you on a regular basis. And so like give an example, like my contest riding might not be the same as what I would do in a regular session. You're obviously going to try to send it a little more to get seen, and you're not going to do like the things that you get noticed for. Like I like to do sliders. I don't necessarily do I feel like nobody gets. So you kind of cater to that audience, you know.
Right, but I mean, when you watch a contest, when you would watch Garrett when he was younger, it was always like double bar spin to turn down, double fakey truck driver, and he would always place super high. But then I would watch like that Colton kid when he was younger, fucking murder it, or a Craig Mass murder it, and like they wouldn't get placed where I would be like, holy fuck, that technicality was way more. And I'm not dogging on Garrett. Garrett's amazing, but I'm saying like the caliber between the two differences was. Yes, you do have kind of a street rider guy riding in a park thing, but you have I think it was Colton at the time, but Craig Mass was just fucking murdering at the time and just doing things that were unbelievable. And
he was one of the first ones to do front foot flare.
Yeah. And it was just fucking crazy, everything he would do. And I always felt like it was like, all right, well, you know, back in the day, it was always, Dave Mirra's going to win no matter what. I don't give a shit if he fucks up. And then Bruce Chrisman ended that, but... You know what I mean? But it's always like, I wonder if that popularity thing is true when you're there.
Absolutely.
Like,
absolutely. I think so.
Someone in the chat gave a very, very good representation of what you're trying to get out, Ricky. He said, Tyler Richardson said, imagine being the first rider at Simple Session qualifying.
Okay, that sucks.
Those people, think about it. Every time you've ever watched Simple Session, no matter how good, perfect example, Brian Fox. No matter how good Brian Fox would do, he wasn't at the end of qualifying, so he didn't like place at the same level. It's like they have a curve for judging at Simple Session or contests like that, where you just automatically get a higher score if you're one of the last riders to go.
Absolutely. Yep.
Well, they always pick the guys that did better, so they go by what you placed, correct? And then you start at a certain place, right? With Simple Session.
True, but like, I mean, I've been to Simple Session a handful of times, and I know that like, I've been in the beginning, I've been in the middle, and I've been closer to the end of the groups. They base your groups based off of your riding style, so they're not going to just put a bunch of street riders in with each other. They're going to try to give like riders that ride like Dennis and Garrett. They're going to try to cluster them together. And riders that ride like Mark Webb and Harry Main at that time, I'm trying to like recollect, and Alex Colborn, they all rode in the same group. So they would base their scores off of those 5 or 6 dudes. And yeah, no, that person's absolutely right about this riding Simple Session, because there's like 120 people there that you're riding against in totally different riding styles, which they've gotten better about that. Simple's gotten better about that.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't gotten better about the money.
No, but I mean, at the same time, like, it's not U.S. based. I mean, like, even if you see Snickers on the ramps, it's not a Snickers US. That's Snickers EST, you know, Estonian-based company.
Right, and obviously their currency isn't the same amount as ours.
Yeah,
so
what's the winner get? I think like Drew won a few times, and I think he always walked away with like $2,000 or something, 1,800, like US dollars.
That's another guy. Like, holy shit, Drew Bonanza at one time was so fucking good. It didn't matter what he did. I was like, oh, he's gonna win.
Yeah.
Mark Webb didn't matter.
He's had some injuries. He's had some injuries, and I think that's what's like kind of like set him back, not physically but mentally. You know, like I can attest that too. Like, and you can, I'm sure you can. Like if you rolled the same right ankle so many times, like you're like real hesitant about starting to do a different trick that would have you favor that ankle.
Right.
And
right.
I think Drew had like a knee injury or something recently.
Eddie said he's been there the last 4 times, and he says nowadays you can just predict who's gonna win it. At Simple Session. And I get in the street section, he's not talking park is so unpredictable. Like this year's was so stupid because it was a fucking circle. They might as well just put dirt jumps in there and made it a circle dirt jumping contest.
Well, what's the dude's name that won this year?
I don't even remember.
No, he's a really good rider. Looks like Dennis Anderson with the hair and
rides like Boyd.
Fuck.
That motherfucker.
I'm into his style.
Yeah, he's fun to watch ride.
He definitely
well deserved.
Yes,
like super well rounded. Did everything.
Yep.
You know who used to be really great? He's still fucking good rider, but he's older now. Remember when Ruben brought his little secret weapon, and he just started winning everything with the fucking
Sergio?
Huh? Holy shit! When Sergio first came, that's like Sergio was like, you're like, who the fuck is Sergio? Sagagio. I remember like all of our friends like, who the hell's this dude with the weird little rat tail? Dude, holy fuck. Man, I missed the early 2000s.
Oh, they were good times.
Well, hey, brakes are coming back, so lip tricks are going to come popular again, and we'll just pretend it's the early 2000s again.
Well, we're gonna need Alex Triplewalls back.
Nah.
All they do is put brake. Listen, if a company puts brakes on the right rider, like Chase Hawk or something like that, people are like, "Oh,
Chase Hawk's running brakes right now.
Yep.
Yeah, people are like, or like Corey Martinez. Corey Martinez.
Yep.
Corey has brakes
10
on
years
now.
ago. No, but Martinez with brakes 10 years ago is 5 times better than Martinez now. Martinez is great with brakes right now, but I'm talking like Martinez brakes 10 years ago was 540 hurricaning, pinching post, 6 feet out of a ramp. And now he's getting like praise.
Hey, we're not
praise for doing it on like a bank.
We're getting there. You gotta give us some time. We gotta get burly again. The level's gonna go up as time goes. Brakes are just getting there again. All it's gonna take.
Yeah, all pussies these days. They're not about that burly level.
Well, the fuck part
Listen, Linda.
The fuck part is you could have that Battle of Hastings and Dave Osato shows up and does 1 or 2 fucking tricks, and he hasn't even rode in a couple years, and no one's doing shit like that. Like, I swear, if we got more kids to start out with vert riding, you lose all your fear as a vert rider. I swear, if you move from vert and go to anything else, you're a god.
Dude.
Because there's no fear after vert.
Let's give another example, because there's an even better example from Battle of Hastings than Dave Osato. Ryan Scher. That's a name that people don't remember, but guess what? He went out and crank flipped to a Bubaka to back rail at Simple Session.
I don't give a fuck about no Ryan Scher. He's the same age as me. What I care about, and I had to text fucking Dave Frymuth, I'm like, you bastard. I waited my whole life to watch you ride again, and you did 1 nose pick. You fucker. That was the most upsetting to me. I was hoping, and then look at what Matt Behringer did. Behringer fucking rode like his life was, he's like, you know what? Fuck the snow in Utah. I'm backflipping the sprocketing something and front flipping to doing something. I was so upset Dave didn't go ham last year. Oh, fuck.
All I can think about is like you seeing Dave Osato doing a nose pick. All I can think about is that meme. Or that video on the sidewalk screaming up at the sky when Donald Trump became president. You ever see that? She's like in her green jacket. I know you guys have seen it.
You lagged out when you started to say
it,
so
we don't know what
you're talking about.
All right, so you remind me that all I can picture is you being that liberal girl screaming up the sky, punching the sky when Donald Trump became president. You remember that meme? She's like, screaming. You don't remember that? Oh my god!
I was so.
Somebody in this chat knows what I'm talking about.
Yo, Tom Justice. Holy shit, that motherfucker is a. Do you know Tom Justice? You've seen him ride.
Yeah, I know he is. He's
dude,
sick as shit.
I don't. You can give him any goddamn bike. You can get him on a goddamn RU Racing Sears special model. He'll murder it because he's on a Mafia right now, right?
Yeah.
He's one of the most dialed tech riders I've ever seen. Like every hard Vader move, foot jam move, it's like in the hardest line too.
Yep.
Every hurricane both ways, over back 270s, still linked it together.
All I want to know is how much do you think his dreads weigh? He's probably packing a baby infant. That's how much that hair has to weigh.
I think that's how he carries the sun around.
That's his special powers, or where they come from, is his hair. You cut off his dreads, dude, and he's over. You can't do that.
I mean, you are right, because I feel like when Brian Was Mercy got rid of his dreads, he kind of chilled out for a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then,
Tom Justice is not allowed to cut his hair.
Joe Rich cut their dreads. Nate Wessel was killing it in Road Fulls 3 when he had his dreads. Motherfuckers, every one time they cut their dreads, it just goes to shit.
You remember
Keep
Ben
the dreads.
Ben
huh?
Hiddle? Remember Ben Hiddle?
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, I forgot Ben Hiddle had fucking dreads.
Ben Hiddle had dreads, really tight girl pants, wearing orchids, and he was like a park rat back then.
Dude, everyone that was a street god right now that's over the age of 25 was a park rat in that back then.
Yeah.
You all of them have it. Garrett Reynolds is the biggest park rat ever.
I'd say except for Brad Sims. Brad Sims has always been Brad Sims. He's never changed, which is awesome.
Yeah, but he used to ride brakes. He used to do some park tricks.
Yeah, when he rode for that Bulldog company. You remember that company?
I almost had one of those. Don't dog on them.
He definitely is doing the right thing with taking care of himself. That guy reads books, so his mental health is good, but also physicality. Like he works out fucking constantly. So like, word to the wise to any of you guys on here that are like 22, 23 and you think you're invincible, trust me, once you reach those late 20s and early 30s, your fucking back starts to really act up. And when you're about to be 40, where I am, it fucking sucks. And I don't know what 45 and 42 feels like, but pretty sure that shit sucks ass. So make sure you clean it up a little bit. Like take care of your body, eat healthy, work out, exercise, mental health. We were supposed to be talking about mental health, but that's a big one, man. Is like psychology of riding. Think about it. Like when you get older, the reason you don't have as many injuries when you're older is because you mentally already know, like you were saying earlier, all right, I got a fucked ankle. I can't do that anymore because I'm going to risk breaking that ankle.
It's
You know what
fear.
I'm saying?
Well, fear sets in. As soon as you let fear take over, is when you're fucked. Because and it's really hard to get out of that mindset. That fear mindset can not just be. You can link it to like riding, or you can link it to just like everyday life. Everyday life. Give you an example. Like, so the rider that we were all talking about earlier, we won't mention until you're ready to mention. Let's just say you're in the limelight like that rider is, and that limelight goes away, but that's what you're used to. Your depression sinks in, and then your fear of what might happen to you because all that is gone. Like, who's going to think of me this way? How am I going to have any meaning to anyone? My Instagram numbers. People are so worried about numbers. I mean, dude, I pray. Like, my birthday was a couple weeks ago. I was like, for my birthday, all I want is for the internet to go away. If the internet ceased to exist, life would be so much better. There would be the hate would be not at your fingertips. It would be where you don't have to go. You're like, oh shit, people are over there protesting.
Imagine this one. How about this right now? How fucked would this be if someone hacked Instagram and everybody's account got erased?
I'll tell you what.
Imagine that.
I'm only one person that would do this, but I'm sure other people in this world would do it. I would give my life's earnings for that to happen. So any money I earn for the rest of my life, not just Instagram, the internet. I would love for like that. Just somebody just fucking hack in there and snip, the wire's gone. That would be great.
But imagine waking up, like I get everybody that always tells me, like my friends, they're like, yo, Ricky, I fucking dare you to erase your account and start over. And I'm like, man, I post more than anybody and I put so much work into this thing. And then I think about it and I'm like, I have multiple pages. I'm like, all right, well, I keep getting to 20, 30K fast, so what the fuck? I'm stuck at 50. Fuck 50. I should just erase it and start over.
Yeah, but you
then,
need it.
I know I do need it.
No. But I'm saying like mentally, not for work. I'm saying like mentally, the fact that you're talking numbers like that, like that's the mindset you need to get out of. You need it. It's almost like you need it to kind of go on. And like I'm telling, when I was saying like telling that kid to DM me, I'm on Instagram very little bit, and when I am, like I'll look at the first 5 to 10 posts. And if I don't see him, like I've had people like DM me like, yo, Mike, why aren't you liking my posts anymore? I thought like, I'm like, dude, I'm not on here. Like, I'm not on here like that. I'm barely even on YouTube. Like I watch Brant's things more often when he does live streams than not, because it's like when whenever his notification pops up, at 4 o'clock, I'm usually doing, it's around 4 o'clock you do it, right? I'm usually doing something, but like these later ones are good. So I'll be on here more often. And this is like one of the rare times I look at YouTube besides watching Crowder. And you're
well,
you just lost everyone who's over 30.
I have to pay attention to what goes on Instagram. I have to make sure things are going, so I live by the number thing. Yes, it does suck, but
it's not what it used to be. Is what I'm saying. Like,
no, fuck no. I want Ride magazine back. I want Trend. I want Snap.
No,
I'm saying the Instagram. I want magazines.
I'm saying the Instagram numbers aren't what they used to be. I'll give you an example. Like when I don't even know what I have now, like 60-some thousand. When I had like 40,000. I got way more engagement, but now Instagram put out a thing where their algorithm only reaches so many people unless you're paying to promote the post. So like, I could put out a video. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm really stoked on this clip. And if I cared about numbers, it would get like 900 views. And the only time you would care about views is if it's in your contract. Like, okay, you have to post this many times a month on Facebook, this many times on Instagram. You have to tag us this many times. And if it reaches this many views, we'll pay you X amount of dollars. That's what contracts used to say. I don't know what they say anymore. And so you would live by that. And it's really hard to get out of that mindset that a lot of kids get in, where they see people post shit and they're like, oh my God, they got 10,000 views, 20,000 views. I want that clout. You can't get in that. I mean, like, I don't give a shit about, like, I don't give a shit about clout. I mean, I'll turn the ads off, likes off. I put out, you got to, and it is hard for you in general because you're in charge of that area on Instagram. So those numbers, those things in order for you guys to have sales. But like, at the end of the day, I feel like that's the root of all the real depression that's going on right now is people are in their phone like this and they're worried about what people think.
Fucking wreck it, Mike. You won't do it, bro. Peel out.
What?
I'm joking. You grabbed your phone and went like this. I'm like, flip a bitch. No, you are right. And I've developed like this weird, what do you call it? It's like an addiction. Like I tell myself, like every day I have to film a new clip. So like it's made things happen for me, but at the same time it does make me depressed because I'm like, motherfucker, now I gotta go out and film and I don't feel like riding, or I'm injured, or I can't ride, or it's Corona 2000 outside and I'm forced to reposting. So like, I don't know, Instagram, since I've had Instagram, it's literally like I do it every day. That's it. So that, and I don't have the balls to just not do Instagram.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying like it's not that I don't do Instagram. I've probably posted, I don't know, 10 times in the past year, and I just don't care. I mean, like lately I've been posting my personal shit with life because I used to like be worried about what people like. I don't even care about the numbers that much anymore. A lot of times you would cater to like, okay, I gotta post BMX stuff because it's what people follow me for, but you'd be shocked to realize that like I'm sure if you posted a video that's personal to you, or a picture that's personal to you on your Instagram, you'll probably have more people engaged in your content than they would at BMX because they're going to be.
Nope.
What, really? You think
Ricky does this?
Fuck no. I have 50% that want a scooter wreck, and I got 50% that just want to watch me ride. And if it ain't a scooter wreck, I don't get shit. And if it's a scooter wreck, that's where I get most of my shit. So everyone wakes up in the morning, if I put a scooter wreck, they're like, yay, Ricky's in a good mood today. If I post me riding, they're like, fuck that old faggot. So
I post whatever I want now, and if people don't like it, I just tell them to keep moving.
Oh, dude. My Instagram, I kind of stopped caring like about actually posting stuff. I used to be on a kind of a schedule just because it's what I did. I really don't care about numbers or any of that. I post whatever I feel like posting riding wise. I've gotten out of that and now things are dropping. But I don't really care.
Right. Are you at work? Are you delivering things right now?
Me? No, right now. So the company, well, not company, I'm partnered up with my uncle. We have a business. It's a business that picks up blood samples and let's say like heart transplants, and now latest is like even COVID tests. So that's the reason why work hasn't stopped for me. And if anything, it's got.
Dude, let's fucking sell some blood, bro. Vampires. Oh damn, dude.
Oh,
but at the end of the day, like, so I listen. I love.
Dude, you won't drink one of those.
Hell no. No, but at the end of the day, like, as much as this like COVID thing has been like a nuisance to everyone, and it has its ups and downs. Like, especially if you're able to work, it's been great because I've been able to spend a lot of time with my daughter. But at the same time, like, I'm counting down the days to the 15th when she goes straight back to daycare. I love her. But I'm counting on those days because then I can get down back to like a reality for me where I'm able to do what I need to do to make myself feel better. Like,
yeah,
riding for me has been like, okay, if I take her to the skate park with me, she'll enjoy it for like 10, 15 minutes. And then she'll get like, okay, Dad, I want to go. Unless like, it's just like something's got a circle thing. But like on the weekends, that's my time. But now that she'll go back to daycare from like 8:30 till 4 when I'm doing this, boom, I'm going to be riding all day. I'll be back to being happy. I mean, I'm happy now, but I'll be back to like feeling good because you're out there sweating. I'm like super jealous of people that are out there sweating all day on their damn bike right now.
Yeah, dude. And I feel like you're kind of like me in that making videos is just kind of part of your routine of what you like to do.
Yeah, and I mean, in a way, like taking a break. I mean, I had a recent passing of my brother Ricky, and so like that whole thing, everything was like a blessing in disguise. It almost made it to where I got to pay attention to what really mattered, and made me realize that, like YouTube and Instagram and all the social media shit, I didn't give a fuck about any of that. I didn't look at anything. I stopped looking at all the news, and now I came back to YouTube like recently because I'm like that was one of my outlets. Just sitting there clicking and making a video and doing it the way I want to. Like it's hard to really describe unless you make videos for yourself and you like to see the end product. I don't really know how to explain it any other way, but unless you edit, then you understand.
Yeah, you guys just need to get a computer and play World of Warcraft, all right? Fuck all this like shit.
Hold on.
Being homos, play World of Warcraft.
Break it out right now. Tell them.
What?
Tell them what we talked about.
Oh, we're gonna do. You're gonna have to get a Switch, Ricky, because we're gonna do this right now.
Do you know how much a Switch is going for now?
Yo.
You know how much I don't care because crazy. I got one right here.
No. No, they're price gouging like that.
I know. I saw that and I was like, should I sell it?
I tried getting one and they were price gouging by like $1,000, right?
Yeah,
so
dude, I saw that and I was like, yo, I haven't touched my Switch in like 6 months. This could be good for me.
Yeah. So now I was like,
serious.
Forget it. I was like, I'll buy the Switch Lite. So I bought the Switch Lite for $199.
Yeah.
And got Mario Kart on it. I always played Mario Kart on my Wii U, and I mean, this is the only time I'll be arrogant. I'll fuck anyone up in this chat on some Mario Kart on the Switch.
We're gonna find out.
All right, my code. I'll put it up on my Instagram story tonight. I'll fuck anyone up. We can do a trial run tonight if you want to.
Boys, I don't play that garbage. I only play World of Warcraft. Fuck all you. I can't. I'm so addicted to World of Warcraft. I could almost choose World of Warcraft over BMX. It's fun.
You want to make some extra money? Here's what you do.
Gold Farm. I ain't doing it.
PlayStation going for it. PlayStation 5 just got announced today. When that shit comes out, buy like 10 of them.
Yup.
That's what I'm doing. I'm buying like 10 of them, and I'm gonna turn those things over for a profit. People can say that's fucked up all you want, but it's just called capitalism, and you gotta.
Yeah. What is how much are they projecting or? Is it projecting? How much are they predicting PS5 going for?
I don't know. But like before, I think they were like $350 to $400, if I believe. I didn't buy a PS4.
No, they're always way more the day that they come out. Like the first couple months that they come out. I thought it
was 500 or 600.
Yeah, I think it's like
even if they're 500 or 600, I'll still buy 4 or 5 of them because I know you'll double your money on each one. 100%.
Either way, we were supposed to tell what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So Mike's pretty much obsessed with Mario Kart. And he always posts saying, like, his Nintendo Switch numbers, whatever that is. He posts that saying, like, let's race. I realized I have the ability to stream Mike and I racing against each other on here. So we're going to do that at some point.
So Brant's putting that in nicer terms. I actually say, hit up the code if you want to get that work. If you want to get that work.
Well,
I've got a crew of people that we go from room to room. We sweep them out. We take all their points and we move on. That's what we do.
So
that is funny.
Obviously, we had the topic of talking about today's situation and stuff. Obviously, it's getting late for me. I got to drive almost an hour, and New York traffic is starting to come back more, but it's more of a headache because they're still like stopping people and stuff. So I got to get going. I just want to say to everybody that
stopping people.
We're like some things are still non-essential. It's still bad in New York City. So I'm obviously in Jersey, but I'm right there. So I'm in Fort Lee.
Gotcha.
So I got to drive there. Traffic's bad. There's always problems. But anyway, I just want to say that Brant, thanks for bringing up this topic. It was a really good one today. Mike, thanks for coming on. Obviously, this isn't my fucking channel, but I always end up talking more than anybody else. Thanks to everybody in chat, and obviously thanks for always donating for random things. But also, if you guys see somebody struggling or something weird going on Instagram, just tell them you love them, because my little buddy Jersey Drew is kind of having it bad right now, and I feel a little bad for him because I don't know, just things happen. So it's like, I got a heart. You got a heart. Everybody feels for somebody. So take the time to reach out to people you love. Always say that you love them. Brant, thanks for this. Mike, don't drink any of that blood. I'm gonna bone out of here because I gotta drive and I gotta check my World of Warcraft real quick, boys. So I love all you guys. I'm boning.
All right. See ya.
All right, I want everyone to super chat right now, money for a Switch. So everybody jump in like $10 and we can get $199 together for Ricky to get a Switch.
Dude, we're gonna need like 8 with the freaking price gouging people are doing.
Are the Switch Lites that much money? I got mine for $199.
I don't know. I just know that at the beginning of all of this, I saw Switches listed for like $500.
Yep.
And I was like, yo, I haven't touched this thing in months. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
And then, yeah. And then it was like, well, probably don't want to sell it.
Yeah.
But either way.
You do your thing. You close out your video how you want. I know you got some editing to do or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for jumping on here, though. I think you brought a lot of valuable conversation to what we were talking about.
Anytime. I'm always down to chat.
And we will do the Mario Kart thing.
Sounds good.
All right. See you, dude.
See you guys. Bye.
Boom. All right, folks. That was a really good stream. I'm glad that we did it. I'm glad we talked about all these things. And basically what Ricky said, if you see someone struggling or you think someone's struggling, reach out. You never know what you could help or who you could help. So with that being said, that's where I'm leaving it. Thank you to everyone for being here. Huge thank you to those who gave super chats. Chris Gold, 20 grip, Tyler Richardson, Taco Slurpees, Chris Gold, and 20 grip again. You guys are awesome. You all are awesome for being here, and I appreciate you all. So we'll see you tomorrow for the BMX news video, and maybe I'm going to start uploading every day again. We'll see. Anyway, good night.